You are listening to the Tricast Gaming Podcast.
Greetings and welcome everyone to episode number 10 of the Tricast Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Philip Keeney, and I am joined today by the roguishly handsome Mike Martinez.
Hello.
And back to being the ever quantumly present, Adam Garcia.
Hola.
Guys, what's going on tonight? It's been a bit of a week. I know that it's been pretty rough for you, Adam, and it's been not too bad for me. What about you, Mike? How has your week been?
Fantastic. Since I've only had to work a day and a half this week, I've been home doing nothing.
Well,
Nice.
Great.
That is what I like to hear. It's got to go well for at least one of us. If it doesn't go well for one of us, then fuck this week.
Yeah, that's what I've had to say since last week when I got sick. Just fuck all this shit.
Well, at least, Adam, have you guys gotten better? Are you feeling better? I mean, you're on the podcast, so something's got to be going well.
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. The way it goes with me when I get sick, my asthma is the early indicator, which that was 2 weeks ago when I had that little asthma attack. That was trigger number one, and I was like, oh crap, here we go. And then I get sick, and then I get worse, and then I find out my cousin died. And then
Oh, no.
that night, on that Friday night, my plumbing goes out, and so Saturday I had to deal with all this stuff. It took them like 5 hours to fix the plumbing issue, and you can feel the sewage on your skin. That's how much it was that just roaming in the house. And then, yeah, asthma every hour that I was on that breathing machine.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's been a hard week.
Man, you know what, though?
Sorry.
I'll lighten your mood here for a second. You want to talk about sewage plumbing problems. It was...
You had Taco Bell again, didn't you?
No. So this was like... I had to avoid Taco Bell that week. So this was... I think it was... I want to say it was Thanksgiving 2017. That sounds about right. I think that's when it was. It was either 2017 or 2018, Thanksgiving. We were going to have my family over. So they come in, they fly in from New Hampshire. This was before they moved back down here to Texas. And they fly in from New Hampshire. And the next morning after they get here, my sister comes out and says, I'm really sorry, but the toilet's not flushing. I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, I have to yell at my kids about using too much toilet paper. Now I got to yell at my college age sister. Like, what are you? I go in there, but it's not that the toilet's clogged. It's like, it's just straight up like, I mean, I went and plunged that thing like a madman for like 10 minutes and nothing's happening. I'm like, what the fuck? So it turns out that the couple days before my parents got there, Suddenlink were putting in new lines for our neighborhood. That little auger thing that they have, that does it's not really like a horizontal hole, but it kind of is like an elliptic shape under the ground, and they take it down under and then out the other side of your property, and they run a line and they kind of like, almost like worm it, down the street, right? Well, when they did that, they freaking drilled right through the main sewer line out of my house. Like right through the middle of it, and it clogged the whole pipe, right? Because it's like they drilled through it, and eventually like paper and mud and dirt and everything kind of got clogged in there. So yeah, and this happened literally, 2 days before Thanksgiving Day. So like, I tried to get them out, and they just they just didn't. So the whole week that my parents are there, we have no plumbing. So that
is infuriating.
I went to Lowe's and I bought a 5-gallon bucket and a lot of cat litter and one of those camping toilet seats.
Oh my god!
And
shedding cat litter for Thanksgiving break.
Well, no. The rule was if you had to poop, we were going to Walmart. But we did number one there. So, but I mean, this is my mom, my dad, me, my sister, my 2 kids, and my wife. Wow. And guess who was on latrine duty the whole week?
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, that was brilliant. Oh, it was awful. And even
That
then, after
sucks.
that, after that, they finally came back the next week and they, quote, fixed it. Um,
Mm,
but these two guys, they like, because the line comes down at the angle of the driveway, and then
yeah.
once it gets to the road, it drops down to the main city line. So there's like a 90 or like I don't know, it's more like a 60-degree angle elbow
Mm.
to drop it down into the main city line. Well, these guys freaking put a rubber boot on it. And so they put it in, they dumped all the dirt on, poured the new concrete on top because it was underneath the driveway. And once you put all that weight on top of it, it just like
Yeah.
collapsed it at the elbow, and it stopped up again like 3 days later. And I'm like, what the crap? My plumbing's all blocked up again.
My God.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So like when they came back out, like I took the day off and I like stood out there and I watched them. I was like, I don't trust you guys. I'm gonna sit here, and they were not happy with me, but I'm like, fuck you guys. I mean, like, I literally don't give a shit.
Yeah. You can't. You literally can't.
So yeah, there you go. How about that? How about that for a fun sewer story that you can laugh about now?
Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh.
So yeah, it was
Hmm.
great. Anytime anyone had to go to the bathroom, out into the garage to the the camping 5-gallon bucket.
Or grab the keys because somebody has to poop.
Yeah, basically.
See, if we had to poop, we just had to walk 2 doors down because that's where my mom lives. So I'm good. I don't have to go to the store to do that. I'd just be like, knock on the door. Mom, I need to borrow your bathroom.
Ugh,
Brilliant stuff. But
fun times.
Adam, I'm sorry you had a rough week, man. I really am. But I think it can get better. It can get better. It can always go up.
It is getting better, and I can tell you why it got better. I made a purchase.
Oh, tell me it's an Xbox.
No.
Ah, I was hopeful.
Okay. Phil, how are you with Hispanic music?
You
Oh,
know,
no.
I'll listen to some. What is his name? Don Calderon. I'll listen to some of that. Some Pitbull every now and then. Does that count?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Okay. Well, there you go.
Not really. But
That's
what
all
about
I
like
got for you.
old? What about like old Mexican music? Do you know anything from back in the day?
Dude, I am way too white for this.
Dude, he
Ah.
lived in Ireland.
Ireland.
I literally have 75% Irish and British blood. I have a red beard. I mean, if we want to talk about some Celtic music, then I'm down. But
Nice.
you're gonna have to fill me in here.
Okay. Have you ever heard of a Tejano star named Selena?
Oh, I've actually watched that movie about
Oh,
her.
what do you
She
think of the movie?
died. She died in how did she? She died young. What happened? I can't remember. I remember it was a tragedy.
Murder.
Oh,
Her,
shoot, that's right. Yeah.
Fan club president killed her.
That's right. Yeah. That was a good movie. I remember that because we talked about the Buddy Holly documentary movie on this show too.
Mhm.
I watched the Selena one too. Yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah, that's the only movie that you'll ever see me cry at because that's like the saddest thing ever. Like just seeing the family react to the news. Anyways, the purchase that I made involves her.
Okay. All right. I'm
Mhm.
excited.
Okay, so I don't know if you are in the area for this, but apparently it's the 25th anniversary of Selena's, like, I guess debut or
Death.
yeah, is it the death? Because I thought she died in like
She died
95.
in
You're right.
95.
I thought I was thinking 94. But Stripes convenience store is selling commemorative cups for
What?
$4. For
$4.
$4.
You bought a cup.
I bought a cup. See what I went in to buy two corn dogs, 2 burritos, and 2 chicken legs for lunch.
And found a Selena cup.
And found a Selena cup. I was like,
Oh,
"Ugh!"
man.
Adam, I was like, I don't mean to like, but I was like thinking, like, you got an Xbox, a PlayStation.
Oh, George Washington's.
You got a cup.
I got a cup, a commemorative cup. And not
I
just
said them
any
over
commemorative cup.
in my
It's
head.
like I had my choice. I had a choice of like it was a gray cup with like a bunch of portraits all over the cup of her, and then like a purple one that had 3 like really nice poses of her and everything else. But I don't know if you remember too much of the movie, Phil, but she's in a bustier in one of them. I didn't see it right away because it was turned slightly, but when I grabbed it, I was like, oh, She's in a bustier.
And then you got home with that, and you're like, "Look, honey, look what I bought." And you're like, she's like, "Why are you bringing
that in a bra?"
Let's see. Here's the thing. Like I
swear I didn't know.
I told Shelly, I was like, look, she's like, I had to keep this side against the wall at work because like I don't want people to think I bought a cup with the bra on it, like a girl in the bra. And she's like, but it's not a bra, it's a bustier. And I was like, bustier, it's a bra. Like this,
like every night at dinner, you like got the cup turned so that you got the bustier as you're sipping every time. She's like, I don't believe you. I think you knew exactly what you were buying.
Honestly, I didn't know what the cups were. I just knew that they were selling them. Like I didn't see what was on it because, like I said, like it was turned slightly. I didn't see it. Like it was like it's just 3 pictures, one big like upper body part, and then like 2 poses like they're different sizes. And like I only got like half of the middle one, and then like full of the other one.
Sure.
As much as you don't believe.
I'll change the subject just a slight bit here. Do they? Who has the best fried burgers? Is it 7-Eleven or Stripes?
Stripes.
Okay, they're fried burritos, man. Could eat that all day.
All day.
And they're cheap too. That's why I go to Stripes for lunch sometimes.
79-cent burritos, man. That's like a
you know what's
bomb.
cheap? I went to McDonald's this morning on my way into work, and I was like, I want a sausage McMuffin and a hash brown, and it like pops up, whatever the individual price for each of them, and then it like changes it, and it's like morning meal or something like that, and turns them both into 75 cents each, and it's like $1.50 for a sausage McMuffin and a hash brown. It's like I don't think I could go to the grocery store and buy breakfast for myself cheaper than this. This is fucking amazing.
Nice.
No, that is
and
amazing.
then
I always get the spicy chicken biscuits.
Oh, those are good too. I'm not as big into spicy chicken though. Like I'm just in general. Not a spicy guy.
Not a lot of spice on your chicken, huh?
Nah, I don't like spice in my mouth.
Okay.
But you know what I did though, and this is I want to see if anybody else has done this. I got the hash brown. I opened up the sausage sausage McMuffin. I put the hash brown in it, close it all up.
Say less. That like takes it up to an 11.
Oh, it's amazing. Everybody listening, if you haven't done this, go to it's $1.50. It's 1.5 George Washingtons. Go in there, get yourself a sausage McMuffin, a hash brown, put it together. Scrumptious breakfast.
Yeah. Episode 10 of the Tricast podcast, sponsored by McDonald's. No,
McDonald's.
We'll take some McDonald's money. We'll take those Benjamins.
We're loving it.
Oh, man.
Adam, it also says you had to watch some movies.
Are these movies of Selena in bustiers?
I wish. No,
tell us.
Okay, I have in this month I have 2 classes. One's a leadership class and one is a film critic class, which I think is the stupidest thing ever. But I digress. For the assignment, I had to pick a director. Like there's the specific list of directors, and they said you have to watch 3 movies and write your opinions about it. And it ended up being like 4 pages long. But the director that I chose is Bernardo Bertolucci, right? Have you ever heard of him, by the way?
I'm actually Googling him as we speak because I have never heard of him.
Okay.
What's his name again? How do you spell it?
Bernardo Bertolucci. He's Italian.
You don't say.
Yeah. But I picked 3 movies just randomly because I like it linked to his IMDb page. And I was like, okay, this one sounds good. This one sounds good. Oh, this one has Liv Tyler. Okay, I'll pick that one because that's newer. Little did I know is that the one with Liv Tyler, it mentions the other 2 movies, saying like Academy Award winner, director of this movie and that movie. And I was like, oh, well, that's cool. Well, little did I know how much nudity is going to be in these movies. Like the first one's called The Last Tango in Paris. And it's like an old movie from the 70s, and it's French, so you had to have like subtitles. And like within the first 7 minutes, they're already having sex, and I'm like, "What am I watching?" And then as it progressed, there was more sex, more nudity, and not only that, it was like this girl, the main character, is getting raped the entire time, and I'm like, "What the hell am I watching?" And I watched the second movie, The Last Emperor, Now, there's not that much nudity, but he's just as provocative with all the other sexual themes and everything else. The third movie, I can't even remember what it was called, but it had Liv Tyler in it. And same thing. Nakedness. You had Rachel Weisz in it. You had Liv Tyler and like all these other female characters. There's like a scene where everybody's just naked. You see the guy's junk. You see everything in the girl. And I'm like, what the hell? And then I realized, wait, this guy's Italian. It's not as taboo over there. And I was like, wait, I have to write about this stuff. Like, what the hell am I going to say? That this guy's a perv? It was not fun.
Yeah, it's definitely way more accepted over there in Europe. I remember like as a kid, like you go into the magazine store, like looking for the Xbox magazine, it'd be like Xbox, PlayStation, titties, right there. You're like, whoa, easy now. You're like, I swear, Mom, I was just here for the PlayStation magazine.
It's just sitting next to it, I promise.
It's not my fault. This is where they put the Warhammer magazines.
Yeah. And then you get the one mom who's like, he lying. He got the Cheetos. See, you got Cheetos. You got the Cheeto prints all over the fingerprints on the cover.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I think they did it on purpose. It's like they know you're a nerd. You're not. I mean, you need
You're
this.
never going to see.
You're never going to see anything else.
Yeah. We need to balance this, guys. We need to balance this.
This is profiling of the worst order.
But yeah, that was but the long story short, I wrote the paper and I got 100 on it because I chose that specific director and I was the only one to choose that for this class.
Well, that's impressive, dude. Nice.
These dudes' movies are not things I watch. That Liv Tyler movie is called Stealing Beauty, by the way.
Stealing Beauty, that's what it's called. Yes.
Stealing Beauty. Oh man. Well, Adam, you were also up to some shenanigans on Twitter too. You were getting some engagement, I saw.
Yeah, I got extremely bored at work and I was like, you know what? I want to see what's going on the Twitters. And so I pulled up TweetDeck and I started seeing the feed and I was like, you know what? I'm going to start messing around with some people and I start just going at it. Like commenting on this person, liking this person, saying, "Oh, that's awesome," and just all this other stuff. And next thing I know, like people are responding to the Tricast Twitter account, which is also called Tricast Gaming P1. If you're not paying attention to it, and if you're not following it, go following it
at Tricast Gaming P1.
Yes, but it's interesting because I'm responding to what is this? What was that guy's name? I sent it to you. The screenshot. It was like a Xbox guy.
Oh, Danny Pena?
Not just him. He was one of them, but it was someone else.
Oh, Aaron Greenberg?
Yes, Aaron Greenberg.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that one at all.
That's so cool. Yeah. Everybody, our official Twitter account got recognized by Aaron Greenberg on Twitter. So look at that.
Yeah, that was really cool. And then, like, of course, since I'm a wrestling fan, I start talking crap to some of the wrestlers and they're like making little jokes here and there. And I think I made a comment of a wrestler named Kurt Angle, like he was in his stupid little cowboy hat that he wore back in the day. And I wasn't actually kidding with this. I said, this actually looks like me when I wear regular hats. And it's like a little toddler hat on this big old bald dude. And he actually liked it. And I'm like, oh, good. He has a sense of humor. Thank God. So.
That's awesome. Actually, I know a lot of the wrestlers, or several of the wrestlers, are pretty big into gaming. I've seen Austin Creed around a lot of other gaming podcasts, some of the bigger gaming podcasts, like Kind of Funny, and some of those. So I know there's definitely some of the WWE stuff that guys that are into it. Austin Creed is one of them, right? I'm not crazy, right?
No, you're not. And AJ Styles is a streamer also on whenever he's not wrestling.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, in case anybody doesn't know, Aaron Greenberg is the head of marketing at Xbox Games Studio. So if you don't follow him on Twitter, he's a good follow because he has a lot of Xbox news that he puts out. So certainly if you're interested in Xbox and you're interested in their regular news, he's pretty active on Twitter and puts out a lot of information. So really cool that we got recognized by Aaron Greenberg.
Yeah. And then I also spent some time, like all I did was search the term Xbox and just saw what people were saying. and I just so happened to see a post that someone had put about the EA pass and then the FIFA game. So I was like, hey, didn't we just talk about this? And so luckily we did. And so I asked you guys the details because I didn't remember it because it was like, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago?
It's 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, 2
Yeah.
weeks ago.
At the
So-
Xbox blowout.
So I mean, it was fun. I'm not on Twitter like that. I've never been on Twitter like that before, but I can honestly see why people get so addicted to it because it's just fun just to, one, talk crap, two, have fun, and three, have that instant gratification of people, liking your stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool. I mean,
for
you
sure.
remember I talked about on this show about Will Power liking one of my tweets.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
About Cobra Kai. So it's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's a neat way. I mean, it's both good and bad. I think for people that have a name because it's a cool way to engage with fans. And if you're a cool fan, you're not some weirdo or some asshole. It's really fun. But also they, it gives a platform for weirdos and assholes to directly say things
Yeah.
to people. So
Oh, yeah.
it's a mixed bag. But anyway, well, guys, I'm gonna try to move us on a little bit. I think this has been a good opening, but we've spent a lot of time here. But before we move on, I'm bringing back personal hygiene questions.
Okay.
Okay, so are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Mike,
Yes.
do you brush your tongue when you brush your teeth?
Yeah.
And how
100%.
do you go about achieving the brushing of your tongue?
My toothbrush has a little thing on the back of its head that I use.
Mm-hmm. So as you're
I
like
just-
brushing the rest of your teeth, you're kind of using that scrubber across your tongue. You're kind of moving your tongue around on it.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I think-
actually, yeah.
I think that's how most normal people do it. I mean, that's how I do it.
Yeah.
What about you, Adam?
Why?
I do brush my tongue, but I use the brush because my toothbrush doesn't have that thing on the back.
Okay, so when you use the
Okay.
brush, like, what do? Like, how do you brush your tongue with the brush?
Like I rinse it off and then I put like a little more toothpaste on it and then just kind of redo the process. Like I don't
Okay.
use the same stuff because I think that's kind of gross.
But you keep your you keep your tongue in your mouth and you stick the toothbrush in there and you kind of brush around on the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you don't like put your toothbrush out in front of your face and then like a cat on a milk dish lap up that toothbrush to brush your teeth.
No. What in the blue hell is that? That's weird.
What the hell?
I have to tell you guys. I mean, there's
psychopath mode.
there's-
That's a psychopath mode right there.
oh man, don't say that because that's who I'm married to. I tell you guys.
Wow.
I tell you guys. I mean, there's some awesome funny moments that I've gotten to experience in married life. Sometimes I think my wife just lives life on hard mode. Like when you get at the start of the game and it's like easy, normal, like hard, and then like insane death mode. I think that sometimes my wife lives life on insane death mode.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's also the choice of just taking the path of most resistance. Like life is kind of easy already, but we're going to go this way.
It's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Makes
All
it
right.
more interesting.
All right, so moving on. When you get a new deodorant, right? You know how the new deodorant comes with a little cap on the top, right? The inside. How
Yeah.
do you get that off before you use your deodorant for the first time?
Pop it off.
How do you pop it off? You just like get it.
I stick it between my butt cheeks, squeeze, and I pull
That
and
sounds
make
like
a little
something
whiny
you-
noise.
I yell at it. I yell at it until it pops itself off.
So, no, but for real, what do you guys do? I mean,
I just take it off. There's like a little grabber thing. I just
and
pull
you
it
just
off. And
grab it and you just pull straight up.
off we go. Yeah.
And Adam, you're the same.
Yep.
Yeah, unless it's like broken, and then I'll have to get some pliers to pull it off. But yeah, other than that, it's just my hands.
It sounds like maybe I'm the only one that's figured out this life hack. Have you never just twisted the bottom up a couple times and then it just falls off?
Well,
That
yeah,
seems
but
like
then you
a
have to
lot
go
of
around
work.
fumbling to pick it up. Like just pull it off, throw it away.
Yeah.
Like, are you twisting it till it just falls off on the? All right, put it out.
So no, I mean I just twist it up a little bit and then it makes it real easy. But one
Oh.
of these days I was in the bathroom and my wife was like could not get this thing off the deodorant. She's like trying. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's I can't get it off. Can't get the little cap thing off. And I was like, here. And like I take it from her and I like twist it twice and then the thing just like, falls off basically. And
But what if the screw's broken?
it's like revelation. Well, then you just need to throw that shit away because it's never going to work right for you.
It's never good. Yeah.
Well, that's
Deodorant's
when
not
you
that-
get like a knife and then you just like kind of just do it like butter on your armpits.
No, that's hard mode again. That's life hard mode.
That's saving money is what that is.
All right. Okay. Final question for you guys, and then we're going to get on to video games because I swear, everybody, this is a video game podcast. But here we go. Final question. When you're in the shower, you wash your body. Do you wash every inch of your body, or do you like leave off some parts?
I wash the important parts, like the stuff that you just need to wash, and then from there I go from top to toe.
But you wash every inch of you. There's
As
every
much
inch
as I
of
can
you.
reach. Yeah.
Is this linking in with the fact that your belly turns on the auto water at the sink? Is this what we're linking into?
Maybe, yes, but I
Also
wash
your
the
back.
important parts. And then like hair, face, just overall body coverage, feet, and then you get out.
All right. Well,
Dry
so
off.
so Adam, what about you? Do you make sure that every inch of you is clean?
Every inch. And before we moved into this house, I had the same problem that Mike did because I would reach down and I could only go so far down before I'm like, I can't breathe. And then now, since we moved into a house where an old lady lives, I have a whole lot of like handicap bars that I can hold onto on the walls. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Brace
So I hold on.
yourself.
Yes, I'm holding onto the wall and I'm like, oh, I can reach these spots now. So yeah,
That's
I mean, you need a stool in your shower, man, and then you can just put your leg up on the stool and no problem.
well, I don't have that
Yeah.
good of balance because I have all the extra weight, and it's just you add that water, and then like it's just kind of slippery. It's not safe.
getting
It's
some
true.
precarious
Well,
situations.
so here's where this question comes from. Again, my wife
okay.
living life on hard mode. It came out somehow that she didn't wash her legs from the knee down. I'm like,
Huh.
what? She's like, yeah, I mean, I wash all the rest of my body, and then as I'm rinsing off, like, like soap and the water's all on the bottom parts of my legs. I don't need to wash down there. I'm like, what?
Mm.
No, this is not okay.
At least
And I-
run over what's like it's not. You're like 95% there.
yeah,
So
so
extra 5%.
so this came out, and we she asked her sister for backup, and her sister was like, "No, what is wrong with you?" So now 30 years into life, we finally got her to start washing the bottom.
Start
of
washing her legs. Oh well,
Like
that's funny.
I'm telling you, man, this is all sorts of funny stories. Just
was it like a dirty like window? Like when you do the first wipe, you get like a different shade.
it's true. It's true. All right. Well, everybody, this is a video game podcast where each and every week we get together to channel our virtues through the Triforce to provide you all the latest news and general thoughts from the mythical world of video games. We are new and doing this entirely of our own entertainment because we love video games. If you like what you hear, please consider leaving us a like and a review on your podcasting app of choice. And if you really enjoy it, please consider sharing on social media and the like to your friends. You can find us on Twitter at Tricast Gaming P1 and on Facebook at Tricast Gaming Podcast, or finally at our website, tricastgamingpodcast.com. Please DM us on Twitter or Facebook with your questions, comments, concerns. If you don't like our take, let us know. Like we'll listen to anything and we'll read it out on the show. We'd love to hear from you. If we get anything wrong, anything like that, please let us know and we will add you to the show. With that, let's move on to corrections. And once again, guys, I don't think I heard anything on the show. There was a couple places where we stuttered, but we ended up finding the answer in the end. Mike, can you think of anything?
I can't think of anything.
All right. Well,
I
see?
can.
Oh, what did we get wrong?
No, what
Tell
happened?
us.
There was a question that you asked Mike. I forgot what it was. It was one of those questions. It was like, it was like, would you rather McDonald's?
Okay,
Wait,
listen.
yeah, it was a fries, the McDonald's fries or the Burger King fries. That's what it was.
That's not a correction. It's
I
a
bet-
fact.
No,
McDonald's
no
fries are
Burger King-
better.
well, yes, but Burger King fries are great. I
No,
had
they're
them
not.
today.
They're ass.
dude.
They're very
They're
potato-y.
straight up anus, dude. They're just soggy. They don't crunch. They just no. That's not a no.
Hey, sometimes whenever
Right.
I want to eat a fry, I don't want to eat like
Listen,
the Tootsie Pop.
if you wanted
There
to
we
have
go.
an opinion on the either or, you needed to be on the show, rain or sunshine.
But I
you know?
sounded like Batman.
And that would have been not cool. How?
Well, because I would have been like, yeah, I like Burger King. That would have been weird.
That would have been awesome. Oh man! All right. Well, that does not count as a correction. So let's move on into what we're playing this week. Adam, since you were out last week, why don't you start us off? What have you been playing over the last week?
I actually started playing Fall Guys. I got to play it a little more, and I'm proud to say I made it past the first level, past the second level, and to the third level, but did not win the third level. That still eludes me.
So
Still
do you have
crownless, huh?
you've got
Yeah.
no crowns.
Oh hell no.
Well, we
But
got
yeah,
different
like I'm starting to learn. Like it's fun, and it's not as infuriating as I thought it would be, because I'm more focused on what I'm doing, and everyone else is just in my fucking way.
It's just supposed to be nonsense fun.
Yeah, I mean,
Bounce
it's
off.
fun.
Reason to actually try
I
to
like
win.
it. I like it. It's fun. Like the whole time, I'm like, "What the hell am I doing?" And then, like the second time, I was like, "Oh, okay, I know what to do." And then it's just fun. I liked it a lot.
I mean, I like it. I just want more than like two players to play with me. Like I want like all of us, like our whole crew, to
Yeah,
play.
That would-
Phil.
That would require me getting on my PC and actually playing a
Yeah.
game there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay,
Maybe.
that's fine.
Wait, tell me when it's on sale on Steam, and then I'll think about it.
I will let you know immediately.
You know what? It is on sale to purchase at full price.
That's not
Probably
a thing.
Christmas, maybe they'll give us a little bit of a discount. But
Adam, I think I figured out your problem here.
Was that?
It's the fact that you think full price is a sale.
Well, it is for sale to buy, just not on discount, on sale. I said for sale.
Well,
okay,
okay, fine.
I like those mental gymnastics there. I'll give it a 10.
I'll give it
Yay.
an 8.8.
Yay. I score high.
That averages out to like a 9.5. You meddled
Yeah.
on Tony
Yeah.
Hawk's Pro Skater.
Yay.
Okay, Mike, what have you been up to?
Regular old Rocket League, and I downloaded Arkham Knight just to kind of do the plus mode, and then I noticed that you were ahead of me in some challenges. I'm like, oh, I can't stand for this. So you probably just did them just to do them. I took it as a challenge, so I'm going to go and beat some of your challenges.
It sounds like I'm
Just-
about to reinstall Arkham Knight.
Oh, I wish you would. I wish you would.
Put up some
And
better
I'm playing the
scores.
game again through the plus mode as well to make sure I get more points than you there. I'm like 25% of the way in. I've taken everything in that, anything like even our mutual Jason, he's beaten me in some stuff. I'm like, oh, this can't stand. Like I can't have this. When did this happen? So yeah, I've downloaded that game and started playing it. I'm 25% in, like I said. And then I also downloaded Among Us. That's another game that I want to play with everybody, but the thing is, that game's only $5. So
Okay.
please.
Hang on. You gotta. So I feel like I'm really plugged into video games, like really plugged in. Even the shit that I don't have any interest in, I know what's
Right.
going on. I
Uh-huh.
have seen these two words together in sentences often,
Okay.
but I have
Uh-huh.
no effing clue what Among Us is.
All right,
You've
let
got
me
to
give you the
explain
premise.
this. Yes,
Huh.
please.
It's pretty. You are basically lying to your friends. Here's what's going on. So you're in this, like, there's a crew of you, and among you, there's either 1, 2, or 3 imposters, depending on how many people you're playing with. and the crew have objectives to do, and you'll like go to your objective, do the thing, and as you're doing the objective, it fills up your screen with whatever, like a little mini game. They're not hard. It's like just moving leaves out of a window or shooting asteroids. It's not hard. They're a little bit time. It takes a few seconds, but it covers your screen. While you're doing this, there are two imposters that are trying to sabotage or kill you. Okay, and as you do objectives, you'll see a little bar at the top. It'll fill up slowly. The imposters are trying to kill you before you fill up the progress bar. And when somebody dies, that leaves the body down, and as people are wandering around, they'll say, "Oh, somebody's died," and you can report it. And everybody comes back into like a voting room, and you have to discuss where everybody was, talk about like who discovered the body, whoever they think it is, and then you vote somebody out, or you don't have to vote anybody out at all. But you try to find the imposters before they kill everybody, essentially.
Interesting. I might have to check this out. I mean, $5.
It's really fun.
$5 is basically free. So
again, it's all of us have to play it, because the more people you have, the better. Because if there's only 4 of us, it's kind of lame.
So all this is on PC, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're saying is, if Phil gets $35, he can get Fall Guys and Among Us.
Well, Fall Guys is only $20, and Among Us is only $5. So it's $20.
I literally in the past week I spent over $1,000 on new video game consoles. You think I got $25?
Yeah.
Wait,
oh my
okay,
gosh.
you're not wrong. Okay, but you know, it's the principle of the matter that I already own Fall Guys on PlayStation.
Buy it again.
Yeah. He never bought it the first time. See, that's the thing.
Oh, well, then buy it.
It was free.
Shut up, Mike.
No, but I actually, I prefer Among Us over Fall Guys. Even though I haven't played it, I've been watching a bunch of streamers play it, and it just looks hilarious. And because you're like, especially if you're the imposter, like, because you're trying to like kill somebody like on the sly, and then you try to pin it on somebody else, or don't say anything at all. It's really fun.
Yeah,
you're essentially just lying to your friends.
I want to play the game.
Clue.
Yeah. And another thing is like you have like a few ways to play it. So like, as you're doing objectives, nobody talks to each other. Like nobody talks. You just do your objectives, and then whenever somebody calls a meeting or discovers a body, then everybody gets together and talks. And if you're killed by someone, you don't say anything. You're muted. So like you could die and nobody could discover you for a while.
Yeah.
Do you know who killed you when you die?
Yeah, it'll show you, because like you're like different colored little characters.
Mm-hmm.
It'll show you the color of the person, and also when you die, it'll like reveal who the. Oh, actually, it doesn't. Never mind. It doesn't reveal who the imposters are. But yeah, you'll see the color of the character that killed you.
Right on.
See, I want to play the game. I just don't want to play it by myself or with other people. I'd rather play it with a group of friends.
It's better when you play with friends. You can play with other people, but it's not fun, because like it's just, you know, your friends' personalities and like their tells. It's funny like trying to cover your tracks and like lie to your friends essentially.
I'm very intrigued by this. I'm actually much more intrigued by this than Fall Guys.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, Fall Guys was fun, but this seems like it would be a great little, even a streaming
party game.
Yeah.
Like I guarantee you, if we can get you, Adam, Tyler, and Connor, like the 5 of us, like this will be a blast.
Oh yeah.
And like you're not. I mean, there's nothing. You get nothing for winning. You get like you lose nothing if you. It's just you're trying to like kick out the imposters. That's it. There's no reason to do like. There's nothing to gain.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad for you to explain this game on this show. I had no idea what it was about. So yeah. I think this is the first time that I've really learned about a new game on this show that I had no idea about. Like I said, I think I'm pretty well clued into what's happening in the video game industry. And this one just like I had seen it bubbling up, but I hadn't really kind of looked into it yet. So
I just saw it trending on Twitch. I'm like, and then a few of my favorite Let's Players on YouTube and Twitch streamers have started really playing it. quite often. I'm like, I wonder what this is about. And I was like, oh my god, this looks freaking fun.
Awesome.
And it's just fun.
I mean, it sounds
There's
like
no
it.
competitiveness to it.
But where's the fun in that? No, I'm good. I mean, you know this. You know this about me. I'm not like I usually don't play competitive games, so I like the idea of
Right.
something that's not really competitive, but
This
it's
is
still
nonsensical fun as well.
intriguing. Yeah, awesome.
Yep.
Okay, well, I'll move on into what I'm playing. Still going at Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I did finish Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, so I'm on to the second game in the pack.
Nice.
So I'm getting close on that. Still just so much fun. I mean, I can't say enough good words about this game. If you liked Tony Hawk before, it's even better. It just, I don't know what else to say. Like, just go get it. Like, it's only $40.
Right on.
I was waiting for Adam to give me shit about $40 for
I gave up. And also,
yeah.
I was shared a thing that I can't believe what I'm reading.
Okay.
It's the headline reads: Police sees 345,000 used condoms that were cleaned and sold as new.
that.
Fun.
Can we like just ignore that happened on the show and can someone edit that out, please? Edit it out, but leave all of this, and so then everybody's just wondering what the fuck happened.
We'll leave in Adam's initial part of the sentence, and then cut into the rest of that, and then have us come in. Yeah. We'll
Okay,
do that.
moving on. I'm playing Marvel's Avengers as well still.
How are the bugs there?
So
How
they did a patch. It was, what did I say it was? Like 12 and a half gigs? I think that's what I said.
Okay.
It was a 12
That
point.
big?
I got a question. Was the patch just to fix bugs, or did they add other things?
Dude, the patch was just to fix bugs. It had
Holy
over
shit.
1,000 bugs that were addressed
Oh,
by this
wow.
12 and a half gig patch. Yeah, insane.
12 gigs.
And you know what the worst part is? They tweeted out like shortly after. It was like something like, if you try to select a mission type and it doesn't select immediately, do not try to select it again because it will cause your game to crash and you'll lose save data or something. I'm like,
Oh,
holy
no.
you just put out a 12 and a half gig
In
patch?
the 12 gig update, they didn't fix that.
Wow.
Anyway,
Oh my
I'm still
gosh.
playing this game, and the more I play it, the more it's sucking me in. I know that this game has got some real problems, so please, guys, wait for it if you're not interested in these buggy games. But they will patch this stuff together. But what I'm playing is so much fun so far. I'm really having a great time. The more I play it, the more it's sucking me in. I'm really enjoying all of the different combat that you experience, because each character really is different, and the stories, you know, they're basic, but it's still fun. Like it's a little bit of a thread to kind of keep you going, to see
Right.
what the next piece is. And then they also add in these like character origination stories or whatever. So each character has their own little mini thread that they kind of go and they pursue. So I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun. You have lots of different things that you can unlock and work towards, and skill trees and things like that. So there's always kind of this other little meta game in the middle of all the different activities that you're doing, and you're always kind of fiddling with things. There's always a reward at the end of the stick. So I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun with it, but this game is, yeah, wow. It's making me concerned for, $70 video games next generation, because if this is what we get with a $60 game,
Yeesh. Yeah.
So anyway, Marvel's Avengers, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, both I think really good games. I'm having a lot of fun with both of them. But if you ask me to recommend one or the other, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, there are no bugs. It's an immaculate game. It's really good. It's really fun. It looks great. Plays the way you remember it. Marvel's Avengers, lots of fun, lots of bugs. So maybe wait on that one until another 12 and a half gig patch hits. And finally, I've been playing Super Mario Sunshine. So Super Mario 3D All-Stars came out last Friday, and I picked that up. And when I first put it on, booted up Super Mario 64, did the first level. It's great. Had fun with that. But I'm like, I've played Super Mario 64. I mean, I played on DS like 2 years ago. So I was like, well, I'm going to go on to Sunshine because I've never actually played Super Mario Sunshine, which is crazy because I love Super Mario. But it's one of the few that I hadn't played in the series yet. So I've been playing Super Mario Sunshine, and boy, let me tell you, a lot of people say that Sunshine is the best 3D Mario. And if you say that, I don't know what the fuck is going on in your head. Mario Sunshine is anything but the best 3D Mario. This game, you want to talk about buggy. I've seen a lot of bugs in this game. Just like random, like bugging out on ledges, trying to pick up a shine and you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of weird shit that goes on. I've seen Mario fall through the world, like just lots of weird stuff. And what's even worse, and this is kind of showing, what kind of a cash grab this is from Nintendo. But it turns out, and people have figured this out. They know this is exactly what happened. It turns out that these are emulated. They didn't they basically put an emulator on the cart and they're running the games through this emulator on the cart. So in some of the levels in Sunshine, the debug boxes for the paths for the moving platforms are still visible on the levels. Whereas the original GameCube version, you can't see they're not visible, obviously.
Right.
So I don't know.
Wow.
I mean, when you couple that with the fact that you can only purchase this game through March 31st, which happens to be right at the end of the fiscal year, there's a little bit of sketchiness here with this one. I think that we should call Nintendo out on. But it's still great having those games on the Switch and to be able to play them, because the main reason I hadn't played it is because it's on the GameCube and there was no other way to play it. And I was like, at this point, I'm too far gone to go back and get a GameCube and do all that. So I'm still glad to get the chance to play it, but there's lots of bugs and there's I think a lot less predictable control of Mario. The camera, I think this was the first one that gave you a free camera, and the camera could just go haywire. It is, there's just things about it that they don't hold up well, in my opinion, compared to some of the other stuff. I still think Mario 64 is my favorite 3D Mario. It's also my first 3D Mario, so maybe that's why. I mean, it was the first 3D Mario, and it was my first 3D Mario, so maybe it's a little bit nostalgia, but for me, it's still the best. So anyway, I'm checking that out, playing that, having fun most of the time.
Cool.
Some of the time, I'm beating my head off the wall, but all right. Well, let's get on. We are long in this show, and we're only just now to the newsreel, so let's get on with things. All right, newsreel item number 1. Sony has confirmed some details about their, quote, remaster, and I'm putting this in quotes because that's what they're calling it now, remaster of 2018's Spider-Man game. There will be no free upgrade for PS4 owners. That's right, you heard me correct. There will be no free upgrade for PS4 owners, though the original PS4 version will be backwards compatible on PS5. Additionally, Sony stated that saves will also not carry forward. Even more confusingly, they will not offer the remastered version as a standalone purchase. You must buy the Miles Morales Ultimate Edition to get the Spider-Man remaster on PS5. Very interesting what's going on here. Sony have obviously gotten a lot of shit for this one, and rightly so. They try to claim that they've done a whole lot more, like they've totally redone some assets and new character model for Peter Parker and so. And I'm like, guys, I don't care. Like, if you're telling me I got to pay $20 to get ray tracing, there's something wrong here, because every other. And I've seen even Aaron Greenberg is getting in on this. Normally Xbox kind of stay out of the console war direct shot thing, but they've been taking some direct shots on Twitter, with mentioning the fact that their games Their upgrade on all their games are free. I mean, every other publisher, their upgrades on these games are free. So I don't know what Sony's doing here. I'm very nervous about the fact that they're calling it a remaster. This game is 2 years old. This game came out 2 years ago, and you're telling me that you're going to sell me a remaster of it?
Mm-hmm.
Probably the most subtle shit you'd ever seen. Like I don't see. You probably won't see a difference.
Well,
maybe a little bit with the ray tracing, but that's yeah.
Here's what I know. If they start getting into this business of, quote, remastering PS4 games for PlayStation 5 and asking you to buy them again, I hope people rake them over the coals for that, because that's some hardcore bullshit right there. That's what that is.
Yeah.
So since this is the future of the way things are going, so you're going to buy Fall Guys on Steam, right?
No. Sorry.
I wanted to try.
Nice try, though. All right, number 2. Let's move on to, or let's stay with Sony here. Jim Ryan has decided. Jim Ryan is the head of Sony. Has decided to comment on the Xbox Series S now. So if you recall, he commented on Game Pass towards the end of last week. Well, now he's commenting on the Series S. He stated that Sony considered creating a lower specification, cheaper PlayStation 5, but ultimately decided against it because the company recognized that, quote, low-priced, reduced-spec consoles have not had great results in the past, end quote. However, the Xbox Series S represents the first time a manufacturer ever in the history of games has launched a significantly less powerful next-gen console alongside its stronger one. So what historical
what is he
evidence
about?
is he basing this on? Speaking with Japanese website AV Watch, as translated by VGC, boss Jim Ryan said the following. Quote, the first thing I would like to say is that I respect every competitor's decision and their philosophies. Clearly, price is a very important factor. We respect other companies' competitive strategies. However, we are fully committed to and believe in our current strategy and the effect it will have, end quote. I'd like to know what that current strategy is, because, you told us you believed in generations and then turned out that was bullshit. So I'm interested, what your current strategy is. But he continues, quote, one thing that can be said is that if you look at the history of the game business, creating a special low-price, reduced-spec console is something that has not had great results in the past. We've considered that option and seen other executives who have attempted this discover how problematic it is. Based on our research, it's clear that people who buy a game console want it to continue using it for 4, 5, 6, or even 7 years. They want to believe that they have bought something that is future-proofed and not going to be outdated in 2 to 3 years, end quote. I mean, open mouth, insert foot. Holy shit. I don't know what to say. I mean,
it's a lot of pretty words.
I want to know what he's talking about. Like, what other?
What is your historical research based on? Like Nintendo Switch, that thing is selling like fucking hotcakes. It's a lower spec current gen console.
Yeah,
the small Switch.
Flat out ask him.
The small Switch or the real Switch?
Both.
Oh.
Both.
I mean, the small Switch compared to the current consoles. I mean, this is what I'm saying, because like he's trying to suggest that someone's released something like the Series X and Series S at the same time, and nobody's ever done that. So I don't know what historical data he's talking about, unless he's talking about, something like the Wii Mini or some bullshit like that. Like I just can't. I don't know. And then he's like, I want to say that I respect every competitor's. Listen, if you're out here talking about the other company, you know what that means.
Yeah.
Okay, your console. Yeah. I mean, he came out and said this right at the end of last week, like into the weekend. PlayStation 5 pre-orders had just gone live. You had just had your show, and not only had you talked about Game Pass, but you'd also talked about the Xbox Series S. You know what that means. If you're out there talking about the other competitor instead of your thing that you just launched,
right?
You're worried. So, moving on, Jim Ryan is also item number 3. Jim Ryan has decided to give us an update on Horizon Forbidden West, claiming that game has been developed from the ground up for PS5, despite it also being available for PS4. head scratcher there. His statement reads, quote, "No one should be disappointed about Horizon Forbidden West. The PS5 version of that game is built from the ground up to take advantage of the PS5 feature set, and we have an upgrade path for PS4 users to get the PS5 versions for free. It's about people having choice." I'm really quite pleased about this situation. About people having choice. Where does that sound like I've heard that before?
Gee,
Anybody? I think maybe that was Phil Spencer at Xbox.
Yeah.
But, just a few months ago, Jim Ryan, you told us that you believed in generations, that people want to go buy a new console and know that the software developed for that new console takes advantage of that new console and is an experience you can't find anywhere else. And now here we are. You're about giving players choice. Interesting. Man, it's been a rough fucking week for PlayStation, let me tell you. Boy. Well, number 4, if we move on, let's talk about Xbox. Xbox have just announced that Game Pass has now hit 15 million subscribers, up from 10 million in April of this year. So in 5 months, or 4 or 5 months, they have increased their subscribers by 33%. This is obviously Xbox and PC together, and that equates to roughly $2.7 billion annual in sub fees.
And I'm going to also add, we're going to talk about this later, but this is before they announced.
This is before the big announcement.
The Bethesda shit. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, because Jim Ryan just told us last week that these kind of subscription servers don't make sense. They make big games, big games, $100 million, big games. All right, number 5. Let's stay on Xbox. Phil Spencer has made a new statement regarding Game Pass on Apple phones, reiterating Xbox's commitment to finding a way to get Game Pass on Apple phones. Quote, "When you get large-scale general compute platforms like mobile phones, people should have access to the great content and services that are out there, and we remain committed to that. There are over 3 billion players who play video games today, many of them playing on phones, and we're committed to bringing Game Pass to all mobile phones out there, including Apple phones. We'll continue the conversations, and I'm sure we'll be able to get to some resolution." So, as I said last week, Xbox are going to continue working on this. Expect more updates on this. It's good to hear that Phil Spencer is trying to find a way to work with Apple. It'd be interesting to see how it goes. I saw today that Amazon launched a game streaming service on phones. So I'd be intrigued because they said they have I haven't gotten to read into too much of the details on it yet, but they said that they'll have over 100 games in their service. I wonder if they have agreed to the concession to force people to download individual clients for each game or not. I'd have to go look into that.
I think it's going to come down to like Xbox with that xCloud. They're going to just have to give more money to Apple.
Just grease the palms. Grease the palms.
That's the only that's going to have to happen.
I agree. All right. Well, let's.
They can with all that Game Pass money.
Well, that's true. That's true. Just spit a little bit to the side. I mean, that's what Apple are seeing.
Yeah.
You make more money in a year than $2.7 billion. I don't know. That's a lot of money. So more than a lot of things. I was going to say that their company's valued at, but that's not true. I think Apple's valued at $2 trillion. My brain just clicking there for a second.
That's an impossible amount of money to even think about.
It is.
Trillion.
It's insane. All right. Let's move on to number 6. YouTube channel Red Gaming Tech has brought us a pair of juicy rumors. First up, they claim that according to a source that has been, quote, 100% reliable so far, a complete remake of Metal Gear Solid 1 is in development and will come exclusively to PS5 and PC. They indicated no timeline on when we will see this game. And next up, they claim that the same source has indicated that the long-rumored Bloodborne remaster is in fact well into development and will include additional cut content from the first game, and it will also be PS5 and PC exclusive. So I brought this up. I don't normally like to put game rumors into our show as news reels, But I wanted to bring this up because I think that the Metal Gear Solid franchise is an interesting one. And we'll kind of get into this in a little bit more detail in the topic of the show. But, there's not many ways that PlayStation can respond to Xbox's Bethesda purchase. But the one way I think that they could is if they somehow were able to sign deals or even go so far as purchase a lot of Konami's IP, like Metal Gear Solid, like Castlevania, like Silent Hill. If they could get those IP and make them PlayStation 5 exclusive, that might be the one response that I could see that might be on the level for PlayStation, because there's no way that PlayStation can afford the cost that a studio like Bethesda would have cost them. So this is the only way. So I wanted to bring that up. If this is true and if this is in the pipeline and this is what Sony could bring, that would be interesting. And then the Bloodborne one, I wanted to bring that up because Bloodborne is another PlayStation 4 game. Another game that I would just expect should come over to PlayStation 5 and work better. And if you own it, it should work better for you. But now it sounds like they're trying to remaster another PlayStation 4 exclusive game. And if this turns out to be true, listen, guys, I'm sorry. I love Bloodborne. I will probably throw my money at this, but I'm going to be mad as hell as I'm throwing my money at this. All right. Number 7, Mike. I wish this came out like right after last week's show. And in last week's show, I was talking about, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, I was talking about how, Skull and Bones, I talked about it on the show, and an update came out right after the show. And here we are. I talked about Beyond Good and Evil, and here we have an update. So Ubisoft has provided us an update for Beyond Good and Evil 2, stating that, quote, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is well underway, and we are currently concentrating on core development and production milestones. The team's collective strength has us well on our way to developing a flagship next-generation action-adventure game. We recently passed an important internal milestone, delivering a build that proves our space pirate fantasy and offers hours of gameplay and an incredible level of freedom in a seamless online sandbox, end quote. So, ladies and gentlemen, Beyond Good and Evil is still alive, too. You asked me to talk about Half-Life 3. Listen, I don't want to tempt anything because, the world just might not be the same place if we got Half-Life 3. So, but if there's anything else you'd like to see, just let me know, and I'll dig up the update for you. So, expect, I would say, to see more on Beyond Good and Evil 2 next year from Ubisoft. Maybe this game is a couple years away. Maybe we'll see something at E3 next year if there is an E3. All right. Number 8. Jeff Keighley has announced that the Game Awards 2020 will go live on 10th of December. Furthermore, it will be broadcast from 3 different locations, Los Angeles, London, and Tokyo. Similar to Gamescom opening night live, presenters will appear on sets with no live audience, while nominees will be present via video. Apparently, all the core tenets of the show will be there, including awards, announcements, and big reveals. So 2020 is not going to rob us of the Game Awards. Look forward to that. Last year's Game of the Year at the Game Awards was Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, another From Software game, same company that developed Bloodborne and Demon's Souls. Sekiro was an amazing game last year, and it was really cool to see that get recognized at that level. So we'll see what gets Game of the Year this year. Any quick stabs, Adam, Mike, at what you think might win Game of the Year this year?
Grand Theft Auto 5.
I think Ghosts or The Last of Us.
Oh yeah, Last of Us is good.
Yeah.
I think if it was between Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima, it would be Last of Us pretty easily. Yeah, the way that the industry has responded to it, I can't see any other game winning Game of the Year other than Last of Us Part 2. But I'm going to go with a different shout out just because I want to. Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is fantastic. So that should be within the running.
For a second, I could have swore I heard you say Doom Turtle.
Doom Eternal.
Eternal, yeah.
Cool.
Sorry.
All right. Number 9, Xbox Controller Design Lab will be going offline on October 14th, with the company stating Design Lab is, quote, preparing for its next evolution, end quote, and this will be disappearing until 2021. They said they're going to bring more updates. No information has been revealed right now, but we're assuming the show, at least, well, I am assuming, but I think I can speak for our show, that this is because they're going to be including the new Xbox wireless controller that will be coming out with the Xbox Series X. So if you want to get a Design Lab controller of the current controller, you have until October 14th to do so. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait until next year sometime when the service comes back online. All right, finally, number 10, we'll finish up with news. Somehow I missed last week that the August MPD data had come out, so let's review the August MPD data real quick. It's crazy numbers again. Overall, consumer spending in August hit $3.3 billion, representing a 37% year-over-year increase. Digital content, mobile spending, and subscription services had the largest growth. That brought year-to-date consumer spending up to $29.4 billion, which is 23% higher than the same time period of time in 2019.
My God.
Hardware spending is also up 37% year-over-year, while game content like DLC and subscriptions was up 37%, and accessories were up to 42% year-over-year. So the video game industry is more than healthy right now, more than healthy. And if you look at that number, $29.4 billion, that is smoking the movie industry. Okay, so video games are the biggest entertainment industry in the world. So there you have it, other than maybe pornography. Who knows?
We had to bring that up.
Oh my gosh.
That's for that news thing that we're cutting out of the show. No, that was not a hint. So yes, guys, the video game industry extremely healthy. I mean, when you think about the fact that consoles, the consoles are cheaper than ever, and the games, there's so many sales and stuff like that because most of the games have been sunset by this point. The fact that everything is cheaper and yet more money is being spent in the video game industry. That means people are buying more software, more stuff. It's crazy. It's awesome. The game industry is super healthy. So don't have any fears about games going away anytime soon. I'm going to run through the games real fast. Starting at number 1, Madden NFL 21, UFC 4, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Ghost of Tsushima, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Ring Fit Adventure, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Mario Smash Bros, Paper Mario Origami. Wow, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Switch exclusives. But we're going to question these lower power consoles. Number 10, Mortal Kombat 11. Number 11, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Number 12, Last of Us Part 2. Minecraft PlayStation 4 Edition. PGA Tour 2K21. New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. Super Mario Party. Rainbow Six Siege. Super Mario Odyssey. Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Luigi's Mansion 3. Holy shit, guys. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 15, 16, 18, 20. Half of the fucking games in the top 20 for August are Nintendo Switch exclusive games. Wow.
Underpowered seems to be doing fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, sounds like it.
It just goes to show, like, if it's a fun game, I mean, it doesn't have to be like this huge AAA game. If people enjoy it, have fun, that's what it's all about, I think.
Yep.
That's right.
That's true.
That is absolutely correct. All right, guys. We've been going for already like almost an hour and 10 minutes. So let's get into the topics of the show. We don't really have topics of the show. We just kind of want to talk about the landscape as it is right now. But the one big thing, the news that we held on to here, Xbox has purchased Zenimax, which is the parent company for Bethesda. So let's talk about this for a second here. Microsoft paid $7.5 billion in cash, not stock options, not, some funding structure. They paid $7.5 billion in cash to purchase Zenimax, who are the parent company that owns Bethesda Softworks, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, Zenimax Online Studios, Arcane, Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog, and Roundhouse Studios. To give you an idea of some of the IP that would have been included in this purchase: Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Doom, Quake,
Yes.
Dishonored, Prey, Wolfenstein. I mean, those are some big. The
Those are
Evil
big,
Within. Some
huge IPs.
massive,
Huge.
massive IPs. Starfield, which is not out yet. Bethesda Game Studios' next game, Starfield, not out yet. That's also in there. What they also announced with this announcement is that all of these studios are coming under the Xbox first party banner. So all of the Bethesda studios, id, those are now Microsoft or Xbox first party studios. That brings their total up to 23 studios. And since these are Xbox first party studios, Mike, you know what that means, right?
Game Pass.
Game Pass, day in, date. When they launch, all of Bethesda's games going forward will launch in Game Pass. Incredible addition of value to Game Pass. And they've already added their first big game. Well, not already. They've already announced their first big game that they'll be adding. That game that I said everyone should look at for Game of the Year, Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal will come to Xbox Game Pass on October 1. So if you have Game Pass, go check out Doom Eternal.
I will be downloading that shit with the quickness.
Absolutely. So let's try to break this down for a minute. I mean, there's a lot of different things that you can go into, a lot of different aspects of this, but let's just try to break it down and kind of talk about it a little bit. And then we'll talk about the consoles in general. Now that we've got both out there, both have been out for pre-order. I got my Xbox Series X pre-order in, so I will be getting the Series X and the PlayStation 5 at launch. So we can talk about all of this here for, 15, 20 minutes, whatever you guys want to talk about. And then we'll wrap up the show. So
sounds good to me.
I think where I'd like to start with this whole Bethesda purchase is the exclusivity. So a lot of conversation has happened around whether or not these games would be exclusive. So let me start by giving you a quote from Phil Spencer. He says, "All of our hard work and the foundation of our relationship with you starts with a commitment to deliver a breadth of amazing games to discover and play on Xbox. Over the last few weeks, we've been excited to share more detail on important elements of a plan we've been building towards for years. A plan that is the fulfillment of a promise to you, the Xbox player, to deliver the most performant, immersive, and compatible next-generation gaming experiences and the freedom to play blockbuster games with your friends anytime, anywhere. Today is a landmark step in our journey together, and I'm incredibly energized by what this step means for Xbox. Please join me in welcoming all of our friends at Bethesda to Team Xbox." So, I think this is... I think this is really exciting. I think it is really exciting, but people are really wondering about what this means for exclusivity. And I see a lot of people pointing to things like Phil Spencer saying, "With your friends, anytime, anywhere." I saw Pete Hines make similar statements. Todd Howard made similar statements, but so my thing is that this is really parroting a lot of what Xbox have been saying a lot recently in terms of the play anywhere, play with your friends, play how you want, where you want, right? But that they're not sudden. They're saying the same things, but they're saying it about Halo and Gears and stuff like that. So those games are not on PlayStation. Game Pass is not on PlayStation. So I don't think that them saying that necessarily immediately indicates that they're gonna put it on PlayStation. I don't think that
the way I'm reading that statement is like Game Pass. You don't need a console for that. You can get the xCloud, get Game Pass. You can play on your tablet with your friends.
Absolutely,
exactly. Play on your phone.
That's exactly how I read it too. Yeah. What about you, Adam?
Yeah, that's exactly how I read it.
Like I don't see why. Why would they put it on PlayStation?
Yeah,
I don't see that. It's like, just get Game Pass. It's not hard. $15 a month, and you have it.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point everybody has either a PlayStation or an Xbox and something else, whether it's a phone or a tablet or a computer. They have one of those two consoles, or maybe they don't have either of those two consoles and they just have a gaming PC and a phone.
Right.
As long as you have one of the, an Xbox, a phone, or a PC, you can get Game Pass.
Yeah, and
So
it did like I think will the XCloud work on a PC, or does it only work on mobile devices like
uh,
iPads? And
that's a great question. I don't really know the answer. I mean,
I think they should open it up to that because then you don't need a gaming PC. You just need a good connection to the internet and you can play whatever game you want. It'll be pretty awesome.
that's a good point. I didn't really think about that because I'm sitting here thinking, why? What do if you got a PC, you just get Game Pass? But yeah, that's a great point. You don't need a powerful PC if you can just stream the game. I mean, that was what
Exactly.
Stadia were trying to say.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'd have to look into that. That's a great question.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, now having said that, I don't know that any of these statements necessarily indicate either that you should expect these games to go exclusive to Xbox either. So,
Right.
um, I think that last week we talked about Bungie and whether or not Microsoft would buy Bungie, and we said like no question if Microsoft bought Bungie, it'd be like Minecraft. Um, they wouldn't make Destiny exclusive to Xbox consoles. But I think the
No.
difference in that one is that, like Minecraft, Destiny 2 has been around for a long time, and it's been on all the consoles for a long time.
And I don't even think Bungie would even go for that either. Like they would want this game everywhere.
Right,
Probably has to be in their deal.
right. So, um, but I mean, even beyond that, if you pay enough money, people will be convinced of whatever you want them to be convinced of. But
Probably right there.
I think that when you have something like that that's been around on consoles already for such a long time and already has that player base, like you
Hmm.
do not want to be that company that buys it and then says, "All right, guys, you can
Yeah.
keep playing what you've been playing, but everything moving forward, every update moving forward will be exclusive to it." You don't want to be that guy. So,
And
like,
that's especially that game because it's a games as a service. Is that what you call it? I keep
yeah,
forgetting what it's called. Yeah,
yeah,
that's definitely like With these other games though, that's not the case. Like
yeah,
those are just standalone games.
for sure. So, you know, the next, especially games like Starfield. I mean, Starfield's not been released anywhere,
Hmm.
so there's no reason why that couldn't be exclusive. Now, um, we did get a quote from Phil Spencer. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Um, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. What did he say? So I guess he was giving a comment to some of the reporters over at Bloomberg, where they asked him about that, and Phil Spencer told them that Xbox does plan to honor the PS5 exclusivity commitment to or for Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, but that future Bethesda games will be on Xbox, PC, and quote other consoles on a case by case basis. Um,
Hmm.
so, what does that mean? Well, I mean, some people have speculated that, the next Elder Scrolls game will be cross platform, but, maybe the sequel to Prey is exclusive to Xbox consoles. I don't
Right.
know. I personally read that as, we'll probably throw Nintendo a bone from time to time.
Yeah,
They've already done
because they
that.
already have kind of a deal with them too.
Yeah. The Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76, those will continue to be, across platforms as they have been. Um,
Right.
but I don't know. I see a lot of people that are saying, Xbox wins either way. It's about Game Pass. So if they sell they put out Elder Scrolls 6 and they say, well, you can either buy it for $70 on PlayStation 5 or you can come, get a $10 membership to Xbox Game Pass and you can play the
Hmm.
game right here. That either way they win. So I've seen some
Right.
people make that claim. I've seen some people talk about, oh, $7.5 billion is a lot of money. How could you just leave over half of the install base? I think when people talk about it that way, they're almost small minded because they're thinking that it's just PlayStation versus Xbox, and Xbox, I don't think that they really look at PlayStation as that kind of a competitor, because Xbox
Right.
are looking at gaming as a whole, and they're saying, all right, we have a console box. If you want something to just plug into your TV and go, we got that. We got phones, and we got PC over here, and that's where games are, and we've got stuff
Yeah.
at every one of those places. We don't give a shit about PlayStation. If you want a console box to plug into your TV, we'll sell you one of those, and we're selling you one of those for $300. If you want an all digital one that just 1440p, 60 frames per second, it's going to run the games great, we'll sell you that for cheap, and Game Pass for cheap. If you want that, it's there. Otherwise, I don't think that they really care about PlayStation. That's
Yeah.
just my thought. I think that I read some other quotes from Satya Nadella, who's like the CEO of Microsoft. He's Phil Spencer's boss, and he's talking about how about Netflix and about how it's about content and about having content to give to your customers. If you're going to go and pay $7.5 billion for content, I think that's going to be exclusive to you.
Yeah.
That's your content to distribute. I mean,
Right.
you don't Netflix, Cobra Kai, you can't go buy Cobra Kai on Amazon Prime for $20 per season. You can
Right.
only watch it on Netflix. And that
Mhm.
same situation is available there. I mean, Netflix could say, well, if you want Cobra Kai, you can go pay $30 per season on Amazon Prime, or you can get a $10 subscription for us and watch the show there for us. They could do
Right.
the same thing, but they don't. They went and
Right.
they bought Cobra Kai from YouTube.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that now that's the only place you can watch it. So I think people need to realize that Microsoft don't view games the way that we used to. They don't view it in console versus console.
No.
They view it as, we're going to provide you a certain. Now I've seen some people say, well, they'll bring Game Pass to PlayStation 5. Maybe if the Xbox just becomes a complete failure and it's just costing too much money to have an Xbox out there, maybe they'll partner up with PlayStation and just become a pure games publisher. But
Mhm.
man, I don't know. I think if they were going to do that, they would have done it starting with this generation.
Right.
But maybe they want to establish Game Pass first. I don't know. I mean, I think if it's any way close, there's no way. There's
Right.
no way. If they're even remote, like this generation, 50 million-ish consoles compared to 110 million PS5s, I think that's close. I think that's close enough. And they're going to say, no, we're not going to put it on PlayStation. But that's just my thought. And is that the right way to go? I don't know. But
It's just the future, I think. Like Netflix doesn't care what you watch their stuff on, just get their subscription.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you say that so people could counter and say, well, why not put Game Pass on PlayStation?
Well, I guess that, I mean, they might, but like, I still, I don't know, man.
I mean, I think at this point, their brands, they may not view it console versus console, but they do view it in brand versus brand. The Xbox brand goes against the PlayStation brand at this point. If at any point Xbox were like, all right, well, we see the console space to PlayStation completely and just put Game Pass on PlayStation,
Right.
I don't think like optically that would look very good to them. So I don't see it. I know. I mean, there's certainly, I talk about sacred symbols on this show a lot, and you guys should go listen to that show. That's like the best game podcast out there, in my opinion. And I have a lot of respect for their opinion. And Colin, he's very adamant that he thinks it'll come to PlayStation at some point. But I don't see.
I don't
it.
see that happening right now. No, no.
Yeah, not unless basically Xbox didn't sell a console for the next 3 years, but that's not going to happen.
It's just they're not selling, like, they're not trying to sell consoles, but that's still one of their money makers. Like, okay, we'll have this console, we'll sell it, if people keep buying it, we'll keep making it, and we'll have this Game Pass as an incentive with it as well, and it'll be like that. But right now, like we've said in the past, I don't think Microsoft is in the business of selling consoles anymore. It's about this Game Pass service they have.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically the future right now. Like we're witnessing the
Mm-hmm.
start of a whole new generation.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, having said that, another little caveat in here, I saw that, Pete Hines commented that Bethesda Publishing will continue to operate as the publishing arm for all of the games from these studios going forward still. So that opens up an interesting situation because now it's not going to technically be Microsoft Games Publishing that is that's publishing these games that Bethesda will continue, but it's not unprecedented. People pointed to that as like, oh, see, look, Bethesda are going to just sort of, this is more of like they're going to operate autonomously. They're going to continue doing what they want, but this is not unprecedented. Okay, so if you look at Take Two, I don't know how many people, maybe not a lot of people know this, and maybe this is why there's confusion. But Take Two owns Rockstar. Take Two owns 2K. So Rockstar publishes Rockstar games. 2K published 2K games, but they're owned by the same parent company. Take Two owns both of those groups. Okay, and they still operate the way they. So I think you're going to see a continuation where Microsoft owns Xbox Game Studios and Xbox Game Publishing, and Microsoft owns Bethesda Studios and Bethesda Game Publishing, but those still report to the same place.
Right.
So I don't assume that Bethesda are just going to continue doing whatever Bethesda wants, because ultimately Bethesda's boss now is Xbox and Microsoft, even if they're not publishing their games under their banner.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know. I mean, ultimately, I don't really have a pull one way or the other. I don't really care. I mean, I just told you guys that I bought both consoles. I want both consoles to do well, but this is big. This is a big piece of news, and there's literally no way that Sony could compete with this purchase. Dollar to dollar.
No way. Yeah.
Sony don't have the capital. I mean, Insomniac was a huge purchase for them. Do you want to know how much Insomniac cost?
Sure.
How much was that?
I think it was $220 million.
Wow.
Pocket change in Microsoft.
For $7.5 billion, Microsoft could have bought 4 times 7 is 28 plus another 2 is 30. They could have bought 30 Insomniacs.
That's insane. Oh my gosh.
I'm willing. I want to say, like, eventually Sony might go up to somebody and be like, "Look, we ain't got the cash right now, but I can put something on it." Just
they're gonna have to, because like there's like they don't have that. They don't have. Is there like that? Their like PlayStation division is even. What is it worth?
Yeah, I don't know.
We're
gonna see a lot of post-dated checks written out here pretty soon.
I mean, certainly more than. I mean, it's probably worth a couple $100 billion.
Yeah, but like they don't. But
I mean, like, compared to like Microsoft is like a $1.3 trillion company or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's no way that PlayStation could go and offer that amount of cash to anywhere.
They just can't. Yeah.
And even if they could, is there any studio arm left that is on the same level? I mean, basically they'd have to go buy like Take Two. Like that's the only thing. And Take Two's not. They probably want. They'd want more than $7.5 billion because that comes with Rockstar.
Yeah.
And
Rockstar's a cash cow for them, man.
Yeah. So there's not anything dollar for dollar that they could go and do to compete with this. But this is where, I want to tie back into why I talked about Metal Gear Solid. I think that there is one way that Sony could compete with this purchase, and that is if they went to Konami and they purchased they don't go buy Konami. Nobody wants to buy Konami. You're not buying anything that's worth having as a video game company, right? Konami make all their money from slot machines and bullshit like that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What you want is their IP. If Sony could go and work a deal where they bought the rights to Castlevania games on consoles and
Yeah.
PCs, and Metal Gear Solid games and Silent Hill games and Contra games, if they went and bought the right to those IP, and suddenly
Yeah.
you had new games in all of those franchises exclusive to PlayStation 5, that would be the only thing that I could see that's on the same level to PlayStation fans.
And that would be pretty good too. Like that would be a good buy for them.
I mean, that'd be amazing for video game fans, because you're not going to get any Castlevania or Metal Gear Solid or Silent Hill games right now. That's not any good ones, at least.
Yeah.
So
just make an offer.
That would be that'd be the only thing that I can think of that's even remotely on the same level that is achievable for Sony to do. But and here's the difference, though, is that we're talking about Microsoft having bought Bethesda, but we're having this debate of like, will their games be exclusive? Will they not be? I think they will be. A lot of people think they won't be. Time will tell. I think it could go either way. I mean, in my mind, I'm saying that they'll be exclusive, but it's probably 60-40. Maybe
I
even,
think they're going to be exclusive.
Yeah, I think they're going to be exclusive too.
I wouldn't be shocked if they weren't. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even though I think that they will, I wouldn't be shocked if they weren't. But the reason we're having this conversation is because Microsoft are clearly open to that. They've shown it with Minecraft. They've put some of their games, some of their stuff, like the Ori games on Switch. They've continued to support Minecraft on other consoles. So, we're even entertaining it because it's Microsoft. If Sony had been the one to buy Bethesda, this wouldn't even be a conversation.
Not happening.
It would be exclusive to PlayStation, period.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the difference between these two companies. And I think that shows a confidence in Microsoft that's not present in Sony, because Sony believes that the only way that they stay high and mighty is if they're selling their consoles, and they think the only way to sell their consoles is exclusive content. And they're probably not wrong.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm buying them. I'm gonna probably get one because they're exclusives.
But but Microsoft view it differently. So very interesting.
I wish I could have been a fly on the wall when Jim Ryan got the news that Microsoft got those studios.
Oh my god!
I just want to see his face.
Me too. I mean, and here's the thing: like, this caught everybody by surprise. I don't know that anybody knew this was coming. They were able.
I remember when I saw it on Twitter. Like, it was like early in the morning. I was like half asleep at my desk, and this thing popped up on my Twitter feed. I'm like, what the hell? And I clicked. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Oh my god! And I was like, right awake.
I thought it was a joke, and you sent it to me, and I was like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. And I had to get on Twitter, and I was like, holy fuck! This is
real. Like, the hell?
Real life.
This is Megaton, and it caught everybody by surprise. I mean, maybe somebody had tipped off Sony in the weekend, or maybe in the week leading up to this. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why suddenly Jim Ryan was talking all about Xbox's current practices.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why he was talking about Game Pass last week.
Possibly. I don't know, but
so I don't know. It's big news. It's exciting news. If you're an Xbox fan, it's very exciting news.
I'm pretty excited.
If you're a PlayStation fan, you're probably a little bit nervous because you don't know what this means. But we did get in all of this wording, we did get like confirmation that Deathloop and Ghostwire are timed exclusive. I don't know what the time exclusivity window is. Nobody will say anything because everybody's tight-lipped about all of that shit. They like to be real cagey on it. Mm-hmm. But there was confirmation in the language that those were timed exclusive. So anybody telling you that Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo are console exclusive to PlayStation, it's true at launch, but they're not staying that way. So just keep that in mind. If you think those are interesting looking games, but you really just want to be an Xbox guy, don't worry, they're going to come to Xbox, and they'll come in Game Pass when they come.
Yes, they will.
So there you go, guys. we kind of talked about that a lot. We kind of have brought in Xbox and PS5 a little bit too to that. I mean, do y'all have anything else that you want to say on any of this stuff right now? I mean, either
I mean,
console.
I'm excited for anything else. Like, I thought Game Pass value couldn't get any higher, and then here they come, making it even worth even more, and it's pretty awesome. I'm glad I have Game Pass.
I mean, Microsoft now have 23 first-party studios.
Mm-hmm.
They could realistically be in a situation where they're putting out 4 to 6 first-party exclusive games every year. So you're talking every 2 to 3 months, a brand new first-party $60 game from a Microsoft first-party studio launching in Game Pass.
Yep. It's glorious.
And then there's all the EA stuff. So every year you can guarantee
I forgot about that.
that you're going to get some more EA games in there eventually. Not at launch, but they're going to come.
No, they're going to be there. Yeah.
And see that's the difference. A lot of people were talking about like if you just wanted stuff in Game Pass, you could have made a deal. Well, that's true. It's true, but I don't know that you could get them at launch that way. I don't know that there's enough. I don't think that the amount of money that somewhere like Bethesda would have wanted you to pay them in order to get their games at launch in Game Pass would have been worth it. So I've seen some people kind of point to that. I don't think that really approves the exclusivity point one way or the other either. So just, to kind of touch on that, like, I think you probably pretty much do have to go and outright buy somebody in order to make this kind of a deal. Cause like EA, they made a deal with EA to get EA Play as part of the subscription service, but that's not the same as getting every EA game at launch in your subscription service. So a little bit different. I did see also that Microsoft, that Satya Nadella said that Microsoft aren't necessarily done. If there's more studios out there for them to get, because this is about content and having the content to go out and provide value for their service, that they're not done. So you could see Microsoft still purchasing more game studios. Maybe Bungie is still in the conversation. I've seen the big rumor on the Twitters is that it's Sega. Sega's next. That Xbox.
Oh yeah, I saw that
by Sega. So,
my gosh,
that would be crazy. I could see that one happening. I mean, I could.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's even worth as much as Zenimax. That other company they just bought for $7 billion. I don't think it's even worth that either, though.
Yeah, Zenimax Media. That is correct. Yeah, I don't think that you would have to pay $7.5 billion for Sega. I mean, although they do have a lot of IP that are maybe reasonably valuable.
Yeah,
probably.
One thing's for sure, though, that we are definitely witnessing history in the making. So this is, I mean, it's kind of cool to see it happening in front of our eyes, but at the same time, it's a little overwhelming.
This is like absolutely the equivalent of waking up and seeing like that blockbuster trade between two sports teams that sends like one mammoth star over to another team. Like this is the only equivalent.
Yeah. Like if it went to the rival team, like that's just crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
So
yeah.
I don't know.
Also, I just came across this. I'm going to link it in our show notes here.
Linking, hit enter. I'm looking at the title here. I'm already like...
The picture alone is just awesome.
Nintendo in panic mode after Microsoft acquires Luigi. That's just clearly some awesome satire. How is this even possible? Shouted a panicked Shigeru Miyamoto. Buying all of our trusted third-party partners is one thing. But now they're taking my own painstaking creations right out from under my nose. Who even authorized this?
I like the picture, like Luigi's like looking in the distance, like, huh? What's going on?
This is some great content. I don't know where Hard Drive. I've never heard of them, but this is funny. They did a good job.
Is this like a onion type site?
Yeah, it's like the Onion for
Okay, I was,
Yeah,
I was about to say, golly,
Microsoft's making some moves, man.
yeah.
that's pretty funny. I like it. Thanks for that, Mike.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think I'll just try to wrap up here, and then we'll move on to upcoming games. I did see that Xbox have sent some units out to some key media figures. So expect to see some more information of the Xbox and its screen and how it runs and all of that, the UI and everything. I don't know if it's started coming out yet. I don't know what the embargo is for that, but I certainly saw yesterday that people like Tom Warren, Jeff Keighley, IGN were getting consoles to review and look at and provide information and screenshots and video of the UI running and everything. So expect some more information about Xbox consoles to be coming out in the near future. And then I also saw that Xbox finally announced that expandable hard drive or solid state drive that you can get for the Xbox Series X. So this is an officially licensed or officially partnered item with Seagate to fit in the expansion slot for hard drive space on the Xbox Series X. This thing will cost $220 if you want one for an extra terabyte of
Oh my
hard drive
gosh.
space. But the
Wow.
key to this thing is this is the only way to have that high speed solid state drive expanded. So if you want more save space with but still having all the same capabilities as the internal solid state drive, this is the only way to get it. And I think it was expected. I mean, I was thinking it would come in at 200.
Mhm.
So 220
Yeah.
is even a little bit higher than what I expected, but I think this is the cost of getting something like this, something so specialty
Right.
with these
You,
consoles.
you don't need it to. I mean, it's just an extra any extra space, and I have no problems uninstalling games I'm done with. Like how many games are you playing simultaneously that you need extra space?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
know?
I know that some people like get concerned because like if you have data caps or whatever, and Call of Duty is 100 gigs, and if you delete it and then
Mhm.
you want to come back to it, like then you got to download 100 gigs again. But what
Right.
what Xbox will do is you can plug any normal hard drive into it, and you can even have all of your Xbox One or your 360 or your Xbox original backwards compatible games. All of those can be stored on there and run off of there. And you
Mhm.
can even move Series X titles over there and store them there. They just won't run off of a normal hard drive. Um,
Right.
so if you're concerned about that, there's still a way to you can download all the stuff and then dump it over onto your like 8 terabyte megaton over on the side, and you can have it there. And then if you ever want to play it again, you just got to move it over to the solid state drive. So
Right.
that option is out there, but I think this is sort of the concession you have to get to give to have that jump up to these load
The
times and everything.
yeah the speed and all that.
So don't expect whatever Sony comes up with for the PS5 to be any cheaper, really. In
Right.
fact, it'll probably be more given the fact that their controllers are still, they're going up in price and their games are going up in price. I wouldn't be surprised if
Mm.
their accessories also went up in price in this regard. But so those are some of the things. Some of the other things. We are still looking for more news on the PlayStation 5. I mean, it's kind of crazy. People have already gone and pre-ordered them, but there's a lot of things that we don't know. We haven't seen the new UI. Nobody has seen the new UI for the PlayStation 5. That's still something that we need to know. And other bits and pieces that we haven't seen about the new console. So hopefully PlayStation will also give us some more news soon. Although,
Yeah.
at this point I've already thrown them my $500. So what does it matter?
Right on.
Right on. All right. Well, I think we've beat this horse at this point.
Oh, yeah,
So
Couldn't beat.
All right. Well, I'm going to move on to upcoming games. There's not a whole lot this week. Halo 3 ODST is now out on PC in Game Pass as of 2 days ago, September 22nd. So you can go get that on PC if you have Game Pass. And then the Halo 3 ODST Firefight is now on Game Pass as well, on consoles as well as PC. So you can go check those out. They're out now. The next game I want to highlight, it's called Twin Breaker, a Sacred Symbols Adventure. Yes, I just talked about Sacred Symbols earlier. I talk about them a lot on the show. I think they're amazing. I support them on Patreon. They developed their own game where the two podcast hosts, Colin Moriarty and Chris Reagan, are the main characters in this game. It is a brick breaker.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is a brick breaker. So think of like those games like where you have a pong paddle and you move the paddle back and forth and you bounce the ball up into bricks and you have to try to clear all the bricks in the stage to move on to the next stage. And it is a lot of fun. I played and platinumed this game earlier this year on PlayStation, but they have now released it on Xbox, on Switch, on PC. So you can get it wherever you want to play it as of yesterday, September 23rd. So it's Twin Breaker, a Sacred Symbols Adventure. Go check it out. Super cool. Next up is Mafia Definitive Edition that comes out on Friday, September 25th. So if you're listening to this episode, it's out today, the day that you're listening to it. So this is a mob game, the definitive edition of the original Mafia mobster game that came out. Man, I don't know how long ago. Early 360, maybe.
Yeah, I would say that.
So. So that's pretty cool. They kind of remade it visually from the ground up. So it's not just an up-res of the original. This is like a remake graphically from the ground up for this game. So a lot of work went into it. Looks pretty cool. So check that out tomorrow. And then finally, just highlight Rocket League is now free to play. And Destiny 2 Forsaken and Shadowkeep are also now available in Xbox Game Pass as of this week. So if you're a Game Pass subscriber, you got Halo 3 ODST and a whole bunch of Destiny 2 content to go check out. So super cool there. All right, guys. Anything else y'all want to say before we wrap this one up and send it to the editing room?
You said that Rocket League was free to play yesterday. They capped out at 1,652,000 players online.
Wow.
The servers broke.
Wow.
Yeah, it took me a bit to find a game in the morning, so I just kind of had to just give it a rest for a bit and was able to get back online in the afternoon, and it was fine. Everything was good too.
That's awesome. I want to go play Rocket League now. Let's.
Yeah.
Adam, any other final thoughts here?
Depends on how real I can get.
Man, we just had this. We've just had a great, humorous show. I mean, are you gonna bring us down right at the end?
No, just more of a plea, I guess. I just want everyone to be careful. I mean, like I said in the beginning of the show, my cousin died. She was drinking and driving, so that's just something that I hate. And to you guys too. I would hate for anything to happen to any of you, and I don't want anything to happen to anybody that's listening to us. So it's just that's if I can just say one thing to help that, just please just think ahead. That's all I want to say.
Will do, man. Yeah, I don't really drink that much anyway.
Yeah, I'm not really a drinker either. And if I do, I would not step in a car. I think the other thing to highlight is when you do that, it's not just you that you're putting into danger. It's other people that you could potentially come into contact with driving that vehicle. So I second this, Adam, 100,000%. If you've had something, go sleep it off on the couch or something before you get in the car and drive off.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening and taking our advice on this here, the 10th episode of the Tricast Gaming Podcast. 10th episode. We really should have talked more about the fact that we are now into double-digit episodes, but that's okay. We'll have our big celebration when we get to 69, giggity. All right, everyone. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Remember to like, subscribe, review on your podcasting app of choice. And if you have any questions for this show, DM us on Twitter or Facebook. We'd be happy to hear from you and read it out on this show. We will be back again next Friday. Oh, yeah, housekeeping. So next week is when I'm going to Disney World. So we'll probably record on Wednesday night, but we can still put the show up on Friday if you guys want to continue with the same cadence, which I think would be a good idea. So look for us next Friday, but we might miss some news that comes out on Thursday. We normally record on Thursdays, so we might miss that and have to talk about it the next week. But we will be back next Friday with episode number 11. Have a great weekend. Stay safe and game hard.